Hey y'all, welcome back to a special edition of Hopped Up Beer Review. We are drinking our way through the 2025 Biergarten collection from Costco, and this beer is the Wiesener Fest-Märzen from the Bürgerliches Brauhaus Wiesen out of Wiesen, Germany. Thank you for joining us.
Hey everybody, welcome to Hopped Up Beer Review, the show where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased opinion about the beer that we are drinking and reviewing. It is that time of year again where we make Andy do all the intros because we are making our way through the 2025 Beer Cart Collection. And yeah, that's what he signed up for. Appreciate you checking out this video. There's Andy in the attic. There's Jay. I am Ben. Gentlemen, really, Andy, what are we drinking today?
The Wiesener Fest-Märzen from the Bürgerliches Brauhaus Wiesen. But if you look at the symbol and you didn't know what it's called, you could just call it Big Booty Beer because that's kind of like what I see. That's all I can see.
Come on, let's just crack it and drink. Don't.
You can't unsee it now. From here on out, that's everybody's gonna see Burgerlicious. Big
Yeah.
beer.
So yeah.
I've ruined it. I've ruined it.
And the Biergarten collection has more than one from this brewery.
So this is the 2025 Biergarten collection we picked up from Costco, as we typically do every year. So we're going to be rolling through these 24 beers here in the next few weeks. So grab your collection from Costco if you hadn't already, and we'll be running through it.
Is it any coincidence I made this the first one of this year's?
And we're going in no particular order either. We're not following the box.
The recommended order of the trail. This year, they're like, I'm choosing it.
We're bucking all norms.
And you see what happens. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates. Burgerlicious.
Wow, Ben, thank you. Andy has no idea what I thanked you.
I had a cough, so I'm muted.
No, Ben was the one who roundabout way got me there. This is a Märzen. The Wiesener Fest-Märzen is Märzen at 5.6%. Has aromas of sweet bread crust mixed with a malt body and fruity and spicy hops. I get everything but the fruity. The brewery, BBW for short, but Bürgerliches Brauhaus Wiesen out of Wiesen, Deutschland, Germany, is in Bavaria. Regional brewery, founded in 1888. Bürgerliches means bourgeois, which is kind of like middle class fancy. So. And I mean, that's pretty much what you think of middle class bourgeois. So there's a reason why they call it Bürgerliches, middle class, bourgeois, whatever. Excuse me, it's carbonated. I'm burping. In 1888, the brewery had belonged to numerous citizens from Wiesen and the Upper Kalgrud. It's a region there in Bavaria. So it was kind of community owned, or we won't say all the community, the middle class fancy community had a stake in this. Though in 1913, it was bought out, taken over by the master brewer, Christoph Hartmann. And it is now currently owned by the fifth generation of that guy's family. Kind of currently the fourth and fifth are co-owners, but it's gone up to the fifth generation since that guy. So
cool.
Bürgerliches.
Does it? Did it say anything about the German purity law here?
Well, it is on the label. It's water, barley, malt.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that. This is our first one from this brewery. This was I was excited to see the BBW in there. So that's why I was like, let's pull this and go first.
Yeah, so we grabbed the one this year. This is what we did last year. I know we've seen it. I want to say there's at least one or two beers that we were in last year's box, I believe. So I guess we'll have to decide if we're gonna re-review those or just let them slide. We'll decide when we get there, I guess. All right. Anybody had this one before? All right. Good. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this to me is your typical fest beer, your Fest-Märzen, I guess, if you will. It's easy drinking. There's no absolute frills from it, but it's what we've expected and seen from a lot of these advent calendars or beer garden collections. I don't have any knocks against it. It's just it reminds me of just beer. The good old can of beer. It does have a little, it's got more flavor than obviously we would have any of the macros. So I appreciate it from that standpoint. But for me, it's just probably going to be a 7.
All right, Andy.
We've been doing these, whether it's the Advent calendar or the Beer Garden collection, enough. This is our fourth, essentially our fourth one to dive into. We did 2 Advent calendars. This is our second Beer Garden collection. And all independent German breweries. And it is definitely confirming what we have found to be that it says Fest-Märzen, but it's categorized as Märzen, whereas in the U.S., we would have probably thought this was Fest beer because the U.S. makes their Märzens more caramelly, sweet, malty, and this is more bready, malty. And it's got the dominant malt body, as they say, to it. Touch of maybe just a hint of spicy hops, but I'm getting more of that bready malt
Beer.
body. No, well, when I think of beer, I'm just thinking of the U.S. macro crap. That's when I think of beer. But this has got, to me, it is different from that.
Yeah, it is.
A touch of sweetness, but not U.S. macro sweetness. I appreciate it and I like it, and I guess I'm gonna hold it in higher regards because we don't get it enough. And but that said, Jay, I kind of agree with you. We've had better of this style of beer from these German breweries, and so I'm going to give it a 7.0 as well. I like it, but we've had enough of these types to have better.
Yeah, you can't help but at this point to compare them. I mean, that's just part of it.
But if we were doing by can art alone, the moon.
How do I follow that?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was not on my hot beer review bingo card when we started this show. But Nevertheless, here we are.
We digress.
Yeah. I think,
Yeah, that's what
I
I think.
think that it's a great time of year, right? I mean, I got my Oktoberfest shirt on. Life is good. We've got all 24, now 23 beers ahead of us from this Biergarten collection. So exciting times. There's a lot of Oktoberfest, Märzen, Fest beers that are out of the market we can go get. So
A lot we have in inventory.
exactly, this is the best time of year for beer. So I think that while I can't even look at the can now without seeing a butt. Thanks, Andy.
I know.
I think that
Those bourgeois leases people.
I think that this beer, I think it's I want to say kind of middle of the road for these boxes, right? I mean, it's right in line with a lot of what we've gotten from them. And I always contemplate this as we do them. Are these beers that Germans would think is really good, or is this beers that Germans are like, this
Crap.
is, we sent
That's what we
all
sent to
America, you know? And I don't know, honestly. I think this one's good. You know, I think it's kind of, to Jay's point, it's kind of the beer of one of these boxes because it is just, you know, nothing special, but it's still really good. I mean, I would take this all day over a lot of beers I can get in the States. And I think I'm glad you mentioned that point, Andy, about how, you know, just what we've discovered doing these, how it's kind of flipped from the Martins and Fest beers and Oktoberfest and what the U.S. does versus what Germany does. So anyway, all that, I'm really looking forward to the other 23 beers. I think we've got some great ones that, you know, just looking at the box and what beers come in it, I'm super excited about. I think we started off with a very tame one, a very kind of middle of the road. And knowing Andy the way that I do and have for 30 years, it's not surprising why we started with this one since he chose. 7-0 is my score as well. That's where I was.
So
yeah.
I'd say at this point, Ben, or maybe before, you flash up a picture of the box so that people can see it, what comes from Costco. And you know, I think it's worth mentioning. You talked about, is this what the Germans want to just throw off to us, or you know, whatnot? The advent calendars that we used to get from them, they were 24 beers, and those boxes were pretty. They were exorbitant in price, if you will, versus the Biergarten collection. These boxes, to me, you know, you price the beers out, they were like two and a quarter maybe, or something along those lines, between 2.25 and 2.5. So they're not as pricey as the advent calendar ones were.
That's a great point, Jay. I think the advent calendars we used to get, if I remember, they were about $99 a piece. And then these are what, $59.99?
This is, yeah, these are about $60.
Yeah.
So you had 100 versus 60. And then the local beer shop I have here, they always do an advent calendar around Christmas time when we get closer to that, and they pack it themselves with individual beers from the shelves. It's fantastic, but you know, their box typically runs about $110 or $120, and they put quality stuff in there. I really enjoy that, and so
I guess what the question may be when we get towards the end of this, you know, 3/4 of the way, do we feel that this is, and I can't answer it from last year or the previous year, but do we feel that this at $60 is equivalent to the Biergarten collection? Sorry, the Advent calendar at $99.
Yeah.
Something hard to think about.
I mean, it's a great question to ask because you're basically looking at almost 2/3 of the price.
Yep.
So, or less. Yep. So,
we shall see. That is going to be a 7.0 for the Wiesener Fest-Märzen, our very first beer out of the Biergarten collection. It's somewhere in the middle. I remember pulling this thing out, so it's not the very first beer in the box. You're going to have to come back a little bit later if you want to see, actually go in order, because we're not going to do that this year. But definitely appreciate you checking out this video. If you have not yet picked up your Biergarten collection, you can do so at Costco if you have one near you. I think it's in most states, but not all. So that may be a limiting factor here.
Right.
Definitely appreciate you checking out this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, cheers that notification bell. Check out our links down below for Hopped Up Beer Review merch, Hopped Up Beer Review Discord server, Hopped Up Beer Review Patreon, and some other things down below. We get all the great information there, so check all of that out. With that, for Andy in the attic and Jay, I am Ben. Happy 2025 Biergarten collection start off. Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers,
Prost.
That's what we forgot. Prost.
Well,